Hello everyone, you're watching Can You See Fish, and welcome back to another episode of Dissecting Sodor. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Brendam branch line, aka Edwards branch. So in previous videos we've looked at Thomas's branch and Duck's branch, as well as the main line of the North Western Railway, and this is really the last, I'd say, well-known branch line really, last well-known standard gauge branch line on the North Western. So anyway, the Edwards branch line starts up here in Wellsworth, just here, which is also on the main line. Of course, this is the station that's in the TV series and the railway series is known as Edwards Station. Moving along, we get to Sudbury Junction, and past that is the Vicarage Orchard, which is of course where Trevor lives and works after the events of Saved from Scrap. Past that is Fenlands. This is a kind of new series CGI thing. It's like that bridge that goes over the marsh area. It's what James crashes into in Tale of the Brave, I believe, after seeing Gator at night. Moving further on, we get to Wellsworth Scrapyards, or Croc's Scrapyards. This is where Edward rescues Trevor from, and in the CGI series, particularly the Brenner era, this is where Reg the scrap crane works. Further down the line, we get to the flour mill. This is seen in Emily's New Coaches, I believe. Not Emily's New Coaches, sorry. Is it Emily's New Route? Where she crashes the trucks into the pond and there's like an explosion of flour. I'm pretty sure it's also, I think, where the Lorry 3, is it, breaks down in Horrid Lorry. I'm pretty sure. Moving further on, we get to the town of Sudbury. Now, this is the capital of Sodor, even though I don't think it appears that much. I think it only maybe appears in one episode too. I think it's Don't Tell Thomas from Series 8 it appears in, at the end where there's like the big Christmas tree or whatever. It's not a very good episode really, I can't remember much for it, but I think that's when Sudbury appears. In between Sudbury and Lower Sudbury here is Sudbury Castle. As you can see here, the castle ruins. This is a very iconic set piece as featured in particularly Series 2 and Series 7, I believe. It might have been seen in some others too, but those are the two series that springs to mind as when it's appeared. There's also the junction here, which is kind of part of Edwards branch line, so we are going to go down here. So this leads us to the coastal track and also a bridge here. This is the High Bridge. And basically this just leads to Sodor Search and Rescue and Misty Island Tunnel. Now I would retcon the existence of the Misty Island Tunnel personally. In my head canon, Misty Island doesn't exist. You know, Misty Island Rescue is not canon. It just isn't. It's hardly been mentioned since, and since it doesn't have that much of an impact, I think it's fine to kind of retcon it and say it doesn't exist. As for the Sodor Search and Rescue Centre, yes, I'm fine with that staying there. In my head canon, Harold does still live at Dryor though, and he hasn't moved to there. But I think like for Flynn and Belle and even Butch really, it's fine for them to stay there, and Rocky too. But that's quite a small kind of tail end of a branch line coming off from the Brendam branch, and I thought I'd talk about it here because I'm not going to be talking about making its own video to talk about the coastal track. But moving further on past the castle ruins, we get to Lower Sudbury. This is the station seen in Series 3, I think. We see James passing through it, I think, at some point in Series 3. I always confuse Lower Sudbury and Upper Brendam, which we are going to be getting to later. But if we just move that up, we can see we get to the Sodor Animal Park, Sodor Wildlife Centre. This is another modern era, new series thing, CGI era. It doesn't really do much. I know it's in Not Now Charlie, is it called? The episode where the elephant escapes. I'm pretty sure it's in that one. Moving further on, we get to the Island's Record Office. This is, I'm guessing, still meant to be kind of on the outskirts of Sudbury, so it would make sense for the Island's Record Office to be in the capital. Moving further down, we go under a bridge and get to Dingley Hall Halt. I don't think we've ever seen Dingley Hall. We may have done, but I think it's a magazine thing. But we may have seen it in the TV series at some point, but I'm not sure. Moving further on, we get to Sodor School, which is an all-girls school. And moving further down, we get to Upper Brendam. This is the station where Thomas is stopped in The Runaway, and it's also the station where, in the TV series at least, that Bertie's Chase with Edward ends in the episode Bertie's Chase. Now, moving further along, we get to Brendam Station. This is the station where Boko pulls into at the end of Rung Road, and we see some other... This is where Flying Scotsman is too, I believe, in Tender Engines. It is called Tender Engines, I think. It's the adaptation of Tenders for Henry. I'm pretty sure it's called that. But perhaps more iconically for Brendam is Brendam Docks, as you can see, just located over here. And I'm actually going to talk about another branch line in this video too, and that is the China Clay branch line. Once again, quite a small line for me to make its own video out of, so I'm going to talk about it here. This is the line that Bill and Ben work, and it's seen prevalently in Series 2 and 3, and also in 5, I believe, and then it disappeared for quite a while, and it was brought back in Tale of the Brave. And Timothy also works there too, I believe, and Marion might, I don't know. I know that Bill, Ben and Timothy definitely all work there, though, at least in Tale of the Brave and Series 18 onwards. But yeah, as you can see, we move on and we get to the branch line, and this then runs along this south coast and up the west here till we get to the drain. Now, this is an exclusively Railway Series location. This is like a dip which floods, and one of the twins, I can't remember which one it is, actually gets stuck in the drain, and it's in the story Down the Drain from Thomas and the Twins, which is a Christopher Audrey book that I haven't actually read, but I do know of its existence. Moving further along, we go under the bridge. I believe this is the bridge that we see Bill and Ben pull the brake van special through in Edward's Exploit. And moving further on, we get to the China Clay Works themselves, like as I mentioned previously, where those are seen. This is Bill and Ben's original location, although in like Series 6 and 7, they're seen working in Farquhar Quarry and also in Sodor Slate Quarry, not the narrow gauge one, the standard gauge one. See, it all gets very confusing with Bill and Ben. I mean, there's the stuff with, are they owned by the Fat Controller, are they not? They're referred to as being not owned by him in Percy Takes the Plunge, but then he's seen controlling them in other episodes and stuff like that. And, you know, in the Railway series, they weren't owned by him, so there's different stuff like that. But also with the China Clay Works themselves, there's also some kind of confusion around there, very rightfully so, because of they're not really being given any real explanation. I do think that the best one we've probably got is the Unlucky Tugs one, that the China Clay pits actually closed down after the events of Heroes, where it kind of gets destroyed, and the Double Teething Troubles quite simply takes place before that happens. But it all gets very complicated around there, and it's not something that I'm really going to discuss in this video. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is Edward's branch line, also known as the Brendam branch. Well, its official name, it should be the Brendam branch, aka Edward's branch line. But yeah, there we go. And that, as I mentioned, is the last well-known one. There are still plenty more for us to look at, plenty more standard gauge stuff before we even move on to the Skarloey Railway and the Cooldy Fell and the Arlesdale line. In the next video, we will be taking a look at Toby's branch line, which is quite big, but I don't feel like it's as well known as some of the other ones. So our next episode will be Toby's branch line. You've been watching Can You See Fish? Thank you all for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel for more. And until next time, goodbye.